So before we start, we're going to check the pressure. I have it on about a third of the way up. I'm turning the power on, and I'm going to check it on my own arm. I want enough grab and not too much pull. So I'm going to take it down just a little bit and try it again, and I'm happy with that pressure. It should be enough to pull and you can lift and drag, but not enough that you can't do that even without oil on your arm. I like to use bee balm, which is beeswax, rose essential oil, and jojoba oil mixed together. Jojoba oil is also really nice for the face. And I'm putting it on enough just to give myself a nice good glide. I don't want to over oil because I don't want the oil going up into my machine. As with all lymphatics, we always start at the neck. So I can clear either doing my fingertips supraclavicular and opening up the lymphatic system this way. I like to do about 50 of these. You can also take your cup and do a little suction pull supraclavicularly. Or you can do both. And as a reminder, we have the watershed area here. So everything that I'm going to be cupping is going to be going down the SCM, or coming up around underneath the chin and down the SCM, underneath the lips, down the SCM, on top of the lips, and down the SCM, and then we have that watershed area. So this lymph is going to go out more laterally, and then down the SCM, and then out laterally and down the SCM. And if you follow those patterns, you'll get a nice reduction in swelling if you have a lot of swelling in the face. So I'm going to take this down the SCM now and open up the neck. And as you see, how I'm achieving that is I'm taking my small cup, putting my fingertip on top of it, and then having this one. So you can really block the flow so you can get suction here. The nice thing about this, if I find the suction is too much, I can quick release by releasing my finger. And then I'm going to go under the chin, pull out laterally, and then down the SCM. I'm going to go underneath the lips, pull out laterally, and then down the SCM. On top of the lips, pull out laterally, and down the SCM. Underneath the eyes, go a little bit more laterally and down the SCM. The top of the forehead. And sometimes you need a little bit more suction for the top of the forehead. Take it out a little bit laterally. And shingle it a little bit. And then come down the SCM. I'm going to lighten up my pressure when I start on the other side. And again, and do a little bit work supraclavicularly. And then down the SCM. Then underneath the chin and down the SCM. Underneath the lips. And then down the SCM. On top of the lips and down the SCM. Underneath the eyes, a little bit more laterally, and then down the SCM. Increase my pressure ever so slightly, and get the top of the forehead. And certainly, if you have a client that doesn't have any hair, either they are bald or they're having chemo treatments and don't have hair, this can be a nice time to cup the top of the head. You can take the cup and bring it just down the scalp this direction, and that can feel really quite nice. And then pull it down the SCM. So now that I've opened up everything with the bigger cup, I'm going to go to my small narrow cup. And now I can get in a little bit closer to things. I can really get the nuances of the face. And since it's a smaller cup, I am going to increase the pressure ever so slightly, just a little bit. I'm going to bring everything out to the side and down the SEM. And as a reminder, I'm placing the cup, I'm lifting and then dragging. I'm not pushing and dragging, I'm lifting and dragging. And you can really get on top of the lips here. And I can get really on the nose, right next to the nose. I can get underneath the eyes. And not that our model today has those lines between the eyes and the eyebrows, but you can come in and pull that and try to soften that a little bit. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And let's say you have a client that has a scar or a area that's harder to cup over, you can do a little of lifting and shaking the scar area, and that can help give it space and decompress the scar. Or if you have an area that's so hard to cup over, you can kind of hold on there for a second, give it a little cupping and a little lift and a shake, and decompress that area. And then it should be easier to be able to follow through on. And most of all, have fun with this, and you and your client will just love this. Thank you.